Hey everybody, welcome back again to Trash Talk.
Hey, hey.
It's Brandon Novara and Stuart Sax here to talk trash with you for the next 15, 20 minutes. And each week we get together and kind of say to ourselves, well, what are we going to talk about now? And rather than just deciding in advance, we kind of just let the events of the day and both of us hit the nail on the head this time because during the week both of us got involved in some traffic situations and
Oh, big time.
man, this is trash, man.
It's a nationwide pandemic for real, but yes.
Yeah.
Um,
And you
trash.
would have thought that with COVID going on, there really is a little less traffic out there, but it seems like the maniacs somehow got past it. And they're
Yeah, they took over the roads.
yes.
The traffic situation, oh my gosh, I can't even look. I know traffic's bad in most places at some point during the day. It's not even just the traffic, it's the common sense, or wait a minute, lack of common sense.
Right, right.
And this one got me, man. I mean, let me tell you, this one got to me. I'm way calmer than I used to be, but this one got to me. I came to a four-way stop, and you know those. We all have them. We've all
Yep.
been there. And we all showed up. I mean, it was one of those situations where we literally all showed up at the same time. We were converging on the intersection. And you know the rules, okay?
Well, you're
And
supposed to know the rules.
well, you're right. You're right. I'm implying that people know the rules,
Yes.
but we should know the rules because we've all been driving for a long time, or at least most of us, like myself, you, and everybody in the car around me. So I'm waiting, and I'm like, I know what happens next, but why is this not happening? And I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, nope, nobody's going. Oh, okay. So as I start to move forward, because I'm like, I got somewhere to go. And if you're not going to follow, I got to go. So as I start to move, they start to move. And we're doing one of this inch game.
Like a chicken dance.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting, I'm waving people on and they're waving. And I'm like, we can't all go now or we're going to hit each other. Finally, I just sped through the intersection. I was like, I'm out. And it drives me crazy because it happens more times than not. It's just insane to me.
Well, it seems like when you're 15 and a half and you're getting your driver's license, you read the book, you learn all the rules in order to take the test, and at 16 and all, you know the rules of the road because you just studied them to pass the test. Now, fast forward to age 60, when you go in to renew your driver's license, they don't ask you who goes first at a four-way. know, you're supposed to remember that crap. And so now you're sitting at the four-way stop, and of course, most people now have blackout windows, so you can't
Right.
even see the people to determine, and you're sitting there going like this, it's telling that guy, you go ahead, and he's going, no, no, you go ahead. I have a rule of thumb. If there's a Hummer at the four-way stop, he's going first.
Obviously.
I ain't going to challenge that, but you usually let's set this thing up. Who's going to go first? If there's a Hummer, there's a monster truck, there's a Prius, and then there's also a small Subaru or a WRX or something with the raised spoiler in the back. Now,
Well,
now in that scenario, who's going first?
it's not the Prius. It's
It's
not
not the Prius,
the
right?
Prius is going to wait for a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. And I think it's going to be like a show. This is a free show. I'm gonna try and figure out who's going to go first, the monster truck or the Hummer.
Yeah, the Hummer. Yeah. It's whichever one has the biggest ego
That's right, and the biggest tires.
and the biggest tires. And it's an old school Hummer. If it's an old school Hummer instead of an H2,
Right.
that's a good battle there. But you know what? This four-way stop thing happens so much. I mean, I almost guarantee it. Like when I come to a four-way stop, I hope nobody's there because I don't want to have to try to teach driver's ed on my way to the gas station.
Yes.
You know, It's
Or,
ridiculous.
or you figure, okay, I'll be bold enough. I'm going to start out. Then the guy to your right decides, no, he's going to go. But not only is he going to go, but he's going to make a left turn right in front
Right.
of you. But he
Right.
doesn't have his turn signal on to let you know that. So now the two of you meet in the middle of the intersection.
Oh my gosh. Don't even start. You just said something. You triggered me. You just triggered me with the turn signal. I
Yeah.
can't. Why is it that people do not use a turn signal? Now, I'll be real. I'm not from here. I'm probably going to make some people upset, whatever. I feel like in Texas, it's a thing they don't use a turn signal. And maybe it's just me because I feel like I heard my buddy in Florida say the same thing. But nobody uses their turn signal. They just do it. It's like you're supposed to guess. You're supposed to play paper, rock, scissors and decide which direction they're going to go. And they never use a turn signal.
Yeah, and because when they sat at the dealership, they sat there and they were listening to when the guy was telling you about all of the buttons for the navigation system. Uh,
Right.
they two things they didn't tell you about is where's the turn signal arm, bar, and how to use it, and also how to operate the lights, the
Oh, yeah.
the what am I trying to say?
No, you're talking about the high beams?
Yeah, the high beams or even the lights to go on. The
Regular daylights, yeah.
cars now have an automatic setting. You just put it on auto, and then when it gets to dusk, or even if it's during the day and it's overcast and cloudy, the lights will automatically go on. But I can't for the life of me figure out how I can be driving at 10 o'clock at night on the highway and there's a car that just passed me that's got no lights on.
I know. It's only two options. It's the Batmobile or they don't know how to use the lights. And I'm
Right.
going with number two.
Yeah. And if their lights are on, you better believe they ain't going to use their turn signal to pull in front.
Yeah. And the thing is, so when we were talking about the lights, like at night, I wear glasses to drive at night. I can't see at night. I can't read it. It's awful. And every time else, I'm okay. So if it's raining and I have my glasses on, it's still a little rough. What really gets me is during the day when it's pouring rain. I mean, coming down, I got my lights on and a car's coming and they don't have their lights on. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how do you see at all anyway? And now I gotta guess if there's a car in this big, hurricane storm I'm in. And I'm just
Right.
like, put your lights on. Back home, it's a law. I don't know if
Or
it's a
maybe
law.
it's just raining on your side of the road.
I wouldn't be surprised these days, I swear.
Not on their side of the road. Well, you and I also are from big cities originally, and we moved here from South Florida, and South Florida is probably one of the worst traffic areas because you can be on a highway, 5 lanes, and all of
Right.
a sudden the guy that's in the far left lane decides, oh, you know what, I need to get off here. So no turn signal, just turn right to cross 5 lanes of traffic, which everybody is slowing down, and now everybody's taillights are going on to allow this idiot to get off at that intersection because he wasn't smart enough to start moving over a couple of lanes a little of the way back.
They think it's like the Autobahn and they just got to zip all the way over.
Yeah,
They're in a NASCAR
yeah,
race
yeah. You were
and they
talking
got
about Mario.
yeah, I don't
Oh,
get it.
just
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking like, guys, we are in a vehicle going 70, 75 miles per hour. This isn't just like, I mean, you're going to kill, it's very dangerous. The turn
yes.
signal is to let everybody know that you're moving.
And have you ever noticed that when they're doing it, they're all going,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're giving
well,
you the wave, the official Texas wave.
yes.
I get so mad when they wave to me. I'm so upset.
Yeah, my bad, but I need to get off here.
Yeah, they're like, I'm sorry that I'm
Wait,
almost killed you.
yeah, the next exit is another 1 mile, so maybe move over and get off at the next exit and come.
You know, the other thing too is when you see construction around here, and construction's everywhere. It just is, and you have a sign that says left lane closed or right lane closed. And they give you a warning. Like they give you a pretty fair warning so you could start to make your adjustments. You always have somebody, if not more than somebody, that just waits till they're right up on that sign
Yeah.
and they try to cut over without a turn signal.
Right. Well, they want to, they don't want to lose their place in line, so they want to get in front of you. And now,
Yeah.
what does that mean? They are one car length in front of you. Was that a big deal?
I know. Did you
Yeah.
almost knock everybody off the road to get here? Or when they rush to, they speed past you. You're doing the speed limit. Maybe you're a little over, maybe you're a couple miles under, but you're in good range, and they
Yeah.
speed past you to cut in front of you to get to the red light.
Yeah, one of my favorite games is the guy that's going down the same street as you, and it's a 45 mile an hour, and he flies past you at 55 because he just wants to get in front of you, and then the light turns red. So now you're sitting at the stoplight, and he is in front of you now. Big deal. That was worth speeding up to get in front of me. What
I
I
know, and they
as
just
soon
do it.
as
And
and as soon as that light turns green, lay on the horn. Like, "Oh, you were in a hurry. Go ahead."
it's like everybody kind of thinks they're the only ones on the road, and they
Yeah,
forget that 100 cars around them.
yeah.
Uh,
And how, so what? You're going to get where you're going, what, a minute and a half earlier? What,
maybe.
what does that add up to?
And the other thing too, I think you and I talked about this a little bit before, maybe, I don't remember. Here in Texas, and in a lot of places, we got those roundabouts popping up,
Yes.
which, or whatever you want to call, I call them roundabouts. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's exactly what they are.
And I don't really like them anyway, mostly because I don't think they work here because nobody knows how to use them.
That's right. And some of that, and that Prius, when that Prius gets in that roundabout, that Prius is going to stay there for about 20 minutes. Trying
Oh
to
yeah.
figure out how to get out.
They're just going to do this
Yeah,
over and over and over. And
yeah.
and, and it's weird because the roundabouts are kind of popping up in odd places. I don't understand the philosophy, but they're popping up in odd places, and nobody gets it. There's just these little signals everywhere and pictures like hieroglyphics, and nobody knows how to do it. And I'm sitting there like, guys, just if you've watched any movie or been to Europe, you should figure this out.
Well, and also the roundabouts also seem to be more than one lane. It's like two lanes. So when you get into the roundabout, if you're going to go three-quarters of the way around, do you stay in the outside lane and go three-quarters? Do you get to the inside lane, then to the outside lane? And you're right. The concept was that it would force people to slow down and be more cautious as they were going through, and it was going to save the city the cost of either putting up forced stop signs, like we talked
Right.
about earlier, or the cost of putting in a traffic light. Except now what they do is in the middle of the roundabout, they put these beautiful gardens and they plant flowers. So now seasonally they have this crew of like 8 workers, all earning 15 to $30 an hour, out there planting flowers in the middle of the roundabout. And when you add up all of the cost, you probably would
No,
be better off putting in a light or put four stop signs.
because at least maybe with the light and the stop signs, you might have to fix it occasionally if there's a storm, but it's low maintenance. But like you said, there's these islands, these little paradises in the middle. I was in Dallas, just right outside of Uptown, and I was driving, and there was a roundabout, and in the middle there was a giant fountain, and I was like, "This looks amazing, but how much are they cost? Like, you're not saving any money here."
Well, not only that, but if you put in a beautiful fountain, now everybody's driving through the roundabout and, oh, look at that beautiful fountain. Oh, I like
You know
that.
what? And I'm guilty.
That's a good looking fountain.
I am guilty of that. I did it. I absolutely drove through the roundabout and looked at it and was like, wow, that's really nice.
I think I know who they built the roundabouts for. I
Hmm.
think they built the roundabouts for the guy in the monster trucks and in the Hummers, because
It's a challenge.
they could just go over the fountain or go over the
I
landscape.
saw, funny you say that. I saw on the news a while ago where somebody did go straight through. Now they were fine. They didn't hurt themselves. They were just planted on top of the island. And I thought to myself, you know what? I get it. They probably couldn't figure it out. And they just said, forget it. Let's try.
I don't like this roundabout. I'm going straight.
I'm going straight. Nobody tells me what to do.
And they actually, from where we live here in North Texas, they sent a contingent out to New Jersey because New Jersey has had roundabouts on their highways and major roads for decades. I remember growing up, this is my first experience with the roundabouts in New Jersey. And in New Jersey, when you're driving down a road, they put a roundabout like every 3 blocks.
Wow.
There is no way if there's a posted speed limit of 45 miles an hour, there is no way you're ever going to get to 45 miles an hour because if you speed up, you got to slow down to get in and out of the roundabout. And then, it's like going through a school zone, 20
Yeah.
miles an hour in the school zone. It says resume 45. Everybody guns it. And about 3 blocks up the road, there's another school zone. And now you got to go back to 20.
Well, this is well, we're in Frisco area and all that, and it is school zone city out here. I mean, you might as well just drive 35 or whatever, 30.
That's right.
For the next 6 months.
And don't ever make a doctor's appointment for 8 o'clock in the morning.
Don't do anything at 8 o'clock in the morning unless you're watching Trash Talk every 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. That's a shameless plug.
So on that note, we should remind everybody, drive carefully,
Yes.
use your turn signal, put your lights on automatic,
Easy move.
and follow the rules of the road. And when you get to the 4-way stop sign, let your neighbor go ahead of you.
And don't wave to me, guys. Don't wave to me.
That's right. Yeah. Especially when you're waving with one finger.
Yes. Okay. I'm from a different area. We don't do that.
Right. All right, folks, go out and make a good day. Join us again next week for more Trash Talk with Brandon and Stuart. Go on, have a great one.
Be safe.